All right, hi everybody, Taylor here. So this video, I'm not going to talk about historical fencing per se. Rather, this is more of a public service announcement. I was this past weekend at DragonCon, which was tons of fun. Had a lot of fun, walked around, saw some people, and it's a great time if you've never been. But I was wandering around the dealer's hall, and I saw people selling swords of various quality. And it occurs to me that there are a lot of people out there who might not know the dangers of what are often referred to as sword-like objects, or SLOs. So I was going to do a quick video to talk about that, just to make you aware of what you might be getting into when you decide to go buy a new sword. Now there's things to look for in a sword that you want to use and practice with and maybe test cut with, and things that might be fine to hang on the wall. So to start off, I'm going to show you, this is a windlass sword. Windlass is kind of the lower tier of actual useful swords. It's made of high carbon steel, which is prone to rust. You have to take care of it. This one's got a little oxidation on it. Especially on, you can see on the pommel here, it's got sort of a darkening to it. That is common on places where you will put your hands, because the oils from your hands can cause oxidation. But like I said, made of carbon steel, good construction. This one doesn't have an edge on it, but it's edged, so it looks kind of sharp, but it's not. Tang that goes right the way down to the pommel, and the pommel is peened on. This is good construction, and I haven't weighed it, but it probably weighs somewhere, feels about in the area of 2 to 2.5 pounds. And this is pretty accurate and what you want for an arming sword. And this is a very middle of the road, kind of bog standard medieval arming sword. This could have run anywhere from the late 1200s all the way up to the 15th, early 16th century. Although in the early 16th century, this would have been in, like, your grandfather's sword would have been retro. All right, so first, let's get out of the way. Most sword-like objects are made of stainless steel, which is usually either too hard, too soft. It is a crap metal for anything over about 5 or 6 inches long. It doesn't stand up to the punishment or maintain an edge that a high carbon steel would. So let's get out of the way. I think everyone knows that this is comically ridiculous. There is no way this could be a useful blade. All of these little bits on it are useless. This is digging into my hand. It's not exactly comfortable. And this weighs like probably almost as much as my great sword, which is much, much bigger. It's got huge wide blade, and I mean, this part's a bit, this would be like a good gladius size, but all this is pointless and ridiculous. So I think we can all understand and agree that this is wank. But I can also feel how flimsy it is in my hand, and it's already fallen apart there a little bit. It was like that when I got it. Shout out to my buddy Sean for divesting himself. Oh, that's just sort of stuck on there. So yeah, if you want this to hang on your wall, go for it, but do not try to swing it around. I'm pretty sure if I swung this, it would break. So then we've got, this is better, a little bit. The fittings are nice and tight on it. It feels fairly solid. It is still, I believe, a stainless steel blade. I would not want to waste a good carbon steel blade on this. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know what the sticker's on here. It was there when I got it. But, it's pretty. It looks kind of badass. This is kind of something you would see the Dark Lord wielding at the end of a fantasy movie or something. I find this to be one of the less offensive sword-like objects I've seen. The problem with this is this weighs like half again, maybe twice as much as this. Your arm would get tired wielding this. The balance is all wrong. Yeah, and again, I could probably snap this without too much trouble. And if I was to hit this against something, it doesn't have an edge on it, but I can, see some notches in the blade. It wouldn't stand up. And by the way, you've probably seen a lot of sword fail videos, people slicing it. There was one, I posted one today, probably using crappy swords. Now, stainless steel and sword-like objects and things, they can cut you. They can be dangerous. This has enough of a point on it, I could probably drive this pretty deep into somebody if I wanted to. So, also, just because they are not functional battle ready, and be on the lookout, be wary of that term, battle ready. I could probably kill someone with this, but I would be at a pretty monumental risk to myself doing it, and again, it's just too heavy. And now, let's talk about this. This is the only katana I have currently. And let's use the term katana loosely. It's a katana-style sword-like object. Alright, so, first of all, this handle is so monumentally stupid. I mean, plus, wouldn't you want the snake facing the other way so it could, like, eye your opponent and look intimidating? Now it's just like, or if I wanted to hold it in, like, a reverse grip, and I could have the serpent looking out, maybe shoot some eye beams, because I'm Jafar, whatever. Anyway, so, as you can see, this blade-like thing, the Hamon line, I don't know if you can see it there. Yeah, there we go. Is clearly just sort of etched in there. And you can see the balance point is actually, because of this giant fuck-off pommel, kind of in the hilt, right there. And I will bet you all of my money, which currently isn't a lot anyway, but all of my money that this does not have what we call a tang. The tang is what connects the blade to the pommel, and it is usually a part of the sword. With these, what they often do is they do what's called a rat tail tang, where they will make the blade, it stops here, and then there'll be a little place where they spot weld a rod onto it, and then screw the pommel on at the end. And if you can't work this out for yourself, this is not sturdy. It will break sometimes if you just swing it at all with any force. And if you hit it against something, it will definitely snap like a twig. When I was younger and dumber, I owned several shoddily made katanas because they're so cool. And I broke most of them. So that should tell you. So what you want to look for when purchasing a sword. Go online, Sword Buyer's Guide, My Armory. They both have some good resources on what to do when purchasing your first sword. But if you plan to use your sword for anything, make sure that you are getting high carbon steel. Don't use stainless. And make sure that it feels sturdy in your hand, is balanced correctly. You want your point of balance actually. I'll try this out again. Yeah. Depending on what your sword is used for, somewhere in the first few inches of the blade, close to the hilt. Obviously, with thrust-oriented swords, it's going to be a bit closer to the hand. A more cutting-oriented sword, it's going to be further from it to lend weight. But, yeah. And careful how much money you spend on them, because they will charge a lot. I saw swords priced in the hundreds of dollars that were crap, to be perfectly honest. So just buyer beware, caveat emptor. And make sure that, now, if you want to get one of these, hang on your wall, looks pretty, fine. Knock yourself out, decorate your whole freaking house with them. But, be careful what you're buying, and, if you want something for serious study, do not. Please do not. I beg of you. You might hurt yourself, you might hurt someone else, or you might just break that sword that you spent your hard-earned money on. So, anyway, that was it. It went a little longer than I had intended, but hopefully that was informative to some people. And, buyer beware, stay away from the sword-like objects. Have a good one!